Hello friends, greetings for today. This is Rajiv Dhune, Assistant Professor of Communication Skills at Shivallapalli Kelwani Mandal's Institute of Pharmacy, Pune, Maharashtra. Friends, today I'm before you with one more crucial aspect of communication skills, that is interview skills. Friends, in this session we are going to explore how to achieve success in interview. Friends, in every sphere of life, at every level in our professional career, not only in our professional career but in our social career also, we have to face interviews. So it is very immensely important to know where the success of interview lies. What are the key methods? What are the key points? What are the key techniques that we have to undertake to achieve success in interviews? Friends, at the outset, I do mention thanks to all you for watching my videos, subscribing my channel, and motivating me through your kind words of appreciation. Thank you once again, friends, in the beginning itself, and let's move ahead to dive deeper into the method of appearing for interview. So friends, let's move. Friends, at the outset I do mention disclaimer that the purpose of this video is educational motive only, and there is no any commercial motive behind it. The content and the images of this presentation and video are taken from diverse resources and are duly acknowledged in the reference at the last. So friends, whenever we are talking about the interviews, we have to remember that different occasions of interview can be there in our life. They can be formal, they can be informal. Here I have taken a few different occasions wherein person-to-person interview can be there, a panel interview can be there, group interview can be there. So different occasions can be there in our life. And considering that occasion, you have to understand the nature of the interview and you have to prepare for that interview. And naturally, the success of the interview lies in your way of preparation. There is not any kind of mantra that you adopt that mantra and you got the success. It's not like that. Preparation, practice is the key to success. So at the outset, we need to be clear on the learning objective of the session. When you will watch this session till the end, you will be in a position to understand what is an interview, along with its purpose and types. Also, you'll be in a position to appear for an interview, in what way to appear for a successful interview, how to prepare for an interview. When we are talking about how to appear for interview, we are talking about the appearance, your body language, your behavioral needs. And whenever we are talking about how to prepare for interview, we are talking about cognitive abilities. Okay? And also you will be in a position to understand the effective use of non-verbal communication in interview, because I always focus on non-verbal communication, because where your words fail, where your verbal communication fails, the non-verbal communication plays a significant and vital aspect to convey your thoughts forcefully. That force, even to your verbal communication, you can give with the help of non-verbal communication. So non-verbal communication, not only in interviews, but in every sphere of your communication, works wonders. And the strategies for success in interview. These are the learning objectives of the session. So friends, let's move ahead to see what are the learning outcomes. Friends, the learning outcomes of the session I have analyzed on the basis of Bloom's revised taxonomy and the levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom's defines the learning process on 6-7 criteria. First 3 are remember, understand and apply. These are the LOTS, that is lower order of thinking skills. And next 3, that is explain, evaluate and create. These are HOTS, that is what higher order of thinking skills. And when we are talking about the blended classroom and flipped classroom, we are talking about flipping the first 3 and bringing at the forefront the second 3. That is, in a traditional classroom, what we were used to do when we used to have face-to-face interaction with our students, we used to have remember, understand and apply these 3 skills with students when we were used to have face-to-face interaction. And students were burdened at home to do as a homework to explain, evaluate and create. But in flipped classroom, but in blended classroom, we have changed that role. What we are doing with students in face-to-face classroom, we are explaining, we are evaluating and we are trying to create. And what students are supposed to do at home as homework, that understand, that they used to understand, remember and apply. So friends, on these parameters, I have analyzed the learning outcomes of this session. As remembering, you will be in a position to understand, remember, memorize and recall what are the do's and don'ts of interview. You will be in a position to understand the effective use of nonverbal communication during interview. You will be in a position to understand and apply strategies required for success in interview. Also, you will understand how to explain your appearance during the interview, and also you will evaluate yourself, your performance during the interview. And when it comes to the parameter of creation, you will have success in your interview. These are the 6 parameters defined by Bloom in his taxonomy, and these are classified, as I said earlier, LOTS and HOTS. LOTS stands for lower order of thinking skills and HOTS stands for higher order of thinking skills. So after briefing about the learning outcomes on the classification of Bloom's revised taxonomy, let's move ahead to see what is an interview. As I said earlier, interview can be formal, it can be informal. It can be a kind of community interview, it can be a kind of broadcasting interview. Friends, here we are talking about the formal kinds of interview on the basis of its formal meat and on the basis of purpose of interview. Friends, whenever we are talking about the interview, we have to keep in mind the most important thing, that is what this is a formal meat, no doubt, but what can be its purpose? The basic and the fundamental purpose of interview is what? To analyze your ideas. Friends, any kind of interview has its center, that is the abbreviation is CAP. What CAP stands for? It is the interview attempts to analyze your C, that is cognitive abilities. What kind of knowledge you have acquired so far, you have gained so far throughout your education. What kind of ideas you do have through your education. That is what C of CAP. That is your cognitive ability. Then comes your A. That is what your attitude analysis. What kind of attitude you have built throughout your education. So that also is important part of education. Whenever we are talking about education, what can be assessed in your education? First, that is your cognitive abilities. Second, your attitude analysis, and P, that stands for your psychomotor skills. What skills, soft skills and hard skills, through your education you have gained? You have mastery over them. That can be analyzed. Means in any kind of interview, in short, in brief, I do tell that only CAP will be analyzed. CAP is the abbreviation for what? C stands for your cognitive abilities, your knowledge, your ideas, your thoughts. A stands for your attitude, where your behavioral analysis can be done, whether you value democratic decisions or not, whether you are a team player or not, whether you have leadership attributes or not. Each and everything can be analyzed over there. And P, that is your psychomotor skills, whether job oriented required skills you have gained throughout your education or not, that can be analyzed. So friends, these CAP, cognitive, attitudinal analysis and procedural or psychomotor skills can be analyzed considering A, B, S, where S stands for what? Skills, B stands for your behavior, and C stands for your attitude. So these things are most important one. A, B, S. Your attitude, your behavior, and your skills. Along with that, one more important point is there, that is what? CASH. This is again an acronym, wherein K stands for your knowledge, A stands for your attitude, S stands for your habit, and S stands for your habit. So this abbreviation is also important one when it comes to analysis of your personality. So friends, analysis of your ideas, analysis of your approach, and analysis of your views, these are the most important points when it comes to your analysis of interview. Along with that, your personality, 360-degree personality assessment can be done through your interview. So always you have to judge what kind of personality you are grooming, because personality is just like a perfume. The flower and perfume, you cannot separate perfume from its flower, and no matter where the flowers are placed, the perfume always occupies the entire environment. So if your personality is positive, then definitely it will occupy the entire place where you are staying over there. Then the attitudinal analysis, as I said earlier, attitudinal analysis is the most important thing in the process of interview. What kind of attitude you have, that can be seen. Most of the times, interviewee inculcate the negative attitude when they are facing for any kind of interview. And if you have that negative attitude, and if you are appearing for the interview, then very less chances are there that you will get success. If you are positive thoroughly, it's not necessary that during interview you are supposed to answer every question. It's not like that. What is important? Your behavior, your outlook, your approach, your attitude. What kind of behavior you have, what kind of attitude you have, what kind of communication you have, what kind of body language you have, what kind of eye contact you are maintaining during your interview. These points, these parameters are important during your interview. And as I said, skills are important when you are preparing for the interview, when you are preparing for the interview. And in interview, the assessment of skills can be done. Friends, to remember one most important thing, that the interview is not like that, asking the question from that area in which you are ignorant. No, it's not like that. The interviewer first asks you in which area you are good at, and then the interviewer will ask you the questions based on the area in which you have told you have expertise, you have gained knowledge. So friends, whenever you are answering during the interview, you must be very, very cautious, watchful. So friends, while talking about the purpose of interview, we need to see the very purpose of interview is to test your skills and knowledge, as I said earlier. Cognitive abilities. what cognitive abilities you have nurtured, you have cultivated during your phase of education, as well as what kind of interpersonal skills you do have. Suppose that if you will place in a team, then after involving in the team, in what way will you work over there? Whether your performance will be heightened and you'll boost others to work in a team, or whether you'll have a negative impact of working in a team, that can be assessed. And the most important criteria of interview is what to judge what kind of emotional quotient you have, intellectual quotient you have, and spiritual quotient you have. Because when we combine all these, then what kind of personality and what kind of person you are, that can be seen very easily. So friends, move ahead and see where the success in interview lies. Friends, when it comes to the success of interview, as I said earlier, the process of interview or the interview itself is what? The reassessment of your skills, your values, your ethics, and your interests and your accomplishments. So whenever you are preparing for the interview, you have to reassess yourself and your accomplishments, your interests, each and everything over there. What kind of knowledge you have, your interpersonal skills, your communication, your leadership attributes. All these things you have to assess and reassess till you appear for the interview, and then only you'll be able to have success in interview. And always to prepare frequently asked questions. Your SWOT analysis on the basis of what? Your strength, your weakness, your opportunities, and your threats of your job. You have to analyze, you have to judge yourself on this criteria always and constantly. What happens, what I have seen that students, when they are about to appear for the interview, the day before the interview, they prepare for the interview. Now, in this way, if you are preparing for the interview, then definitely you can be in a fiasco. You may not, probably, you may not have success during the interview. Constantly, you must be ready, you must be well equipped on how to face, how to appear for interview. So friends, prepare frequently asked questions. Generally, descriptive questions are asked, and students do have habit of answering yes or no. That habit you have to overcome. You have to replace that habit by what? Inculcating the habit of analyzing situations. Because during the interview, you may be asked, explain your leadership experience in detail. Explain if any humiliating or harassing situation or difficult situation you have come across so far. Explain your role in the project you have done in your final year, at your final year. So such kind of analyzing, explanatory questions can be asked. So you have to cultivate your analyzing skills, abilities, and therein language comes in picture. Therein your communication matters a lot. And if you have the melody of communication, then definitely you can have the ability to persuade the mind of the people, mind of the interviewer. Friends, try to understand the nature of the interview. If you understand the nature of the interview, then definitely you will be in a position to have success during your interview. Friends, cultivate the habit of analyzing, as I said earlier. And if you understand the purpose of the interview, then through the preparation practice, definitely you can have the success during the interview in your hand. So friends, you need to assess yourself constantly. That is, self-assessment is the most important thing. And when you are doing the self-assessment, what you have to assess throughout the interview, you have to assess your skills, what skills you have, what talent you have, what abilities you have, what strengths and weakness and interests you have. That is what, in short, the SWOT analysis. Friends, understand your leadership attributes, understand your experiences, understand your embarrassing events, because sometimes during your interview, you may have to focus, shed light on it. Friends, always whenever you are preparing for the interview, always raise this question before you: why this field, why this company, why this job profile, and why I should be selected over there. If you analyze in this perspective, then definitely success can be there. If you are simply appearing for the interview, if you are appearing over there, then definitely success will not be there. And as per my experience or my information, what I have noticed, that out of 100 candidates, only 5% of the 5 candidates to prepare thoroughly. Means 95% or 95 students only appear for the interview only for the sake of appearing for the interview, without any preparation, without any knowledge of company, without any knowledge of job profile. So friends, prepare thoroughly if you want to achieve success in the interview. Your work value, what ethics you have, that can be also evaluated, judged during interview. Friend, you have to establish a rapport with your interviewer during your methods of answering. Your body language, your non-verbal, and your dressing, all these things also matter a lot. Friends, your lack of experience also sometimes helps you, sometimes make you weak. So you, in what way you are analyzing over there, that is also most important thing. Whether you have a leadership experience or not, that also sometimes assists you, boosts you, or sometimes weakens you. So you have to handle over there in what way you are handling, mostly in a positive way. If you have a record of job hopping, then in what way you are managing over there, that also a crucial aspect of job hunting. Friends, when it comes to interviewing questions, what kind of questions are asked, that is what a kind of conundrum. Friends, most of the times factual question, I mean the questions based on facts, knowledge can be asked. Sometimes checking questions where to check your understanding. The answers to the checking questions is what, yes or no. Sometimes filling questions means to evaluate your perspective can be asked. Then the tell me, that is descriptive questions can be asked. Then the permission type questions can be asked. And see, the purpose of all these 5 questions is what? To evaluate your knowledge, your comprehension, your analysis, your application, your synthesis and understanding. That is the purpose of asking all these 5 questions: factual, checking, filling, tell me, and permission. So friends, whenever we are talking about non-verbals in interview, friends, non-verbals are the most important one. Because as I said earlier, where language fails, verbal communication fails, there your non-verbal communication plays a pivotal significant role. To your eye contact, gesture, posture, facial expression, your space, your appearance, means through all these parameters of non-verbal communication, you can communicate very effectively. And through your non-verbal communication, what can be evaluated? Your morale, your confidence level, your ability to trust, and your leadership traits. All these things can be analyzed over there. So friends, while talking about the kinds of questions asked during the interview, let's see the types of the interview. What kind of interview types are there? Screening type of interviews there. The purpose of this interview is to screen the candidates only. Then the selection. Such kind of interviews are the most important one because the purpose is to select the candidate. Screening interview, just to screen your eligibility, whether you are eligible for the post or not. The purpose of screening interview is not to assess your skills, is not to assess your knowledge, just to see your eligibility. But the purpose of selection interview is to what? To assess your personality in 360 degree. So selection interview is the most important one. After that, group interview. For students, when they are as a student, they are going ahead, they most of the times appear for group interview for their projects. So in group interview, what can be say? In what way group interviews can be taken? Students can be called in group, and the questions will be thrown to them. The purpose of group interview is to check your cognitive abilities and your skills together, whether you have acquired that or gained that knowledge or not, whether you have acquired skills or not. Then the panel interview, and after that stress interview. The panel interview and stress interview are the higher kinds of interview. In my next video, in my next session, where our focus will be on selection kind of interview. So friends, whenever you are talking about interview, you have to keep in mind what the basic mantra, basic funda. And what is that basic funda? Preparation and practice. Friends, knowledge, whenever you are spending 4 hours in bachelor's degree, naturally, spontaneously, you can have knowledge. And whenever you are spending too much hours in laboratory, then definitely you can have expertise over the required skills. Thing is what? Inculcating confidence, trusting yourself. The most important thing is what? Communication. So if you keep in mind, that is your knowledge, your skills, your communication, and if you trust in you, then definitely success will be yours. Friends, while preparing this video, I have referred these books. You can, if you want to go further, then you can refer these books. So thank you, friends. Thank you watching my video and giving me support to my YouTube videos, and for your appreciative marks. Thank you once again. In my next session, we are going to explore about selection interview and a lot more related to the selection interview. So thank you, friends. Thank you very much.